Here we are. It's game week. How much different is it for you mentally, emotionally than it was last week when you didn't know who you were playing and you knew there wasn't a game in front of you, at least for the weekend?
Yeah, it is different. Anytime it's a playoff game, things are ramped up an extra notch. It's do or die. So right now it's all hands on deck, and it's really exciting.
What do you do at night? Like, how do you get away from all the stuff that you're doing during the day as you focus on the 49ers and what's ahead on Saturday? How do you kind of escape that and just kind of clear your mind and work out all of that to make sure you're not on 100% of the time?
A lot of it is still football, bringing, home with you, even watching film throughout the week at home or watching the primetime games as the week goes on. You really never get away from it. But I think anytime you just kind of for me, listen to music or stretch or different things to sort of get away. But it's usually always on your mind in terms of, especially this time of year, playoff season.
Yeah, and obviously it's a familiar opponent in the 49ers. You've seen them earlier in the season. Well, what does that mean when you see somebody in week 3 and here you are, 18 weeks, at the end of 18 weeks, and now you're going to see them again?
Yeah, it does help knowing that we went out there in week 3 and got the win in San Francisco. But we know that for both teams, we're really different. So, a lot of what they do is even similar to what our offense runs. But, throughout the season, both teams change in their schemes and what they're calling. So this will be a big week to catch up on what they're doing right now. But there's always a sense of familiarity with both sides.
And like you said, they do change things up. When you were out there, Deebo Samuel only ran the ball twice. Now he's basically their featured back. How does that change the way you look at what they're trying to do and the athleticism that's now in their backfield?
Yeah, it is different, knowing that when he's in the backfield, he can catch out of the backfield. He's obviously shown he's a very effective runner. That's one of the things that Coach Shanahan does. He's always finding ways with the personnel groupings or with different motions pre-snap to find ways to make it harder in the defense. So we have to do a good job of really communicating and making sure that, we have great eye discipline throughout the week.
And going up against this offensive line, they're one of the top 10 teams at that position in football. What is that like for that challenge and for you guys knowing that they are a formidable front, yet you guys also have shown that you guys have the ability to stop the run, to get to the quarterback?
Yeah, it's a great challenge. I think of their O-line. Their left tackle with Trent Williams is one of the premier, tackles in the game. And then their center, Alex Mack, is a very experienced player. So, but like you said, it starts up front and it starts with this team stopping the run, because that's really, where their whole offense runs through is the run game. And it's one of the best in the NFL. So, as we have a lot of great pass rushers, but if we don't get to third and long, we really can't use them.
Do you take anything from the 2019 NFC Championship game, or is that so far back in history it has no relevance to Saturday's game?
I would say for the most part, we watched that game and learned from it and moved on. But there are still similar concepts to what they do offensively with the outside runs and how they want to try and attack our defense. So, we've already played twice since then. So I think both teams have moved on. But it's one of those things that you can always learn from.
And as a defensive lineman, and you hear that Jimmy Garoppolo is dealing with a sprained shoulder, you know about his thumb before the Cowboys game. Does that add kind of like blood in the water for Sharks? I mean, is it the same kind of thing knowing that he's just a little banged up as he heads into this weekend?
Honestly, not really, because this time of year, really everyone has something that they're dealing with, whether it's public or not. And he's obviously a very tough player, and he's from the Chicago area, so he's used to playing in the cold. So we know we'll get, their best game.
And when you get amped up like you were talking about, it's playoff, it's do or die right now. How do you use those emotions to your favor? How do you put those into a position to help you when you take the field on Saturday?
There's always the right balance of that. You can't get too hyped and then forget your assignment and not be gap sound, for example, in the run game. So there's the right balance of being locked in on your assignment and knowing what's going on around you, and also having energy for all 4 quarters to go out there and compete.
And the last thing for you, I was talking to Ty Summers last week. Here we are this week. After the game, when the Niners beat the Cowboys, immediately everybody looked at the weather. What's it going to be like Saturday night at Lambeau Field? How do you guys play that up? Because in Colorado, they let you know that you're a mile high wherever you go in any stadium or arena. How do you guys remind the 49ers that it's cold out there?
We think it's our strength, and like you said, they're from California, so they're not as used to the cold as we are. And even having experience this year and playing in cold games, and our quarterback is used to it, and now our defense is, and we think it's our advantage. And we're not going to do anything crazy. Just go out there and play our style of football and embrace the atmosphere of the game.